It's easy to tell yourself that you have goals. You may have even set deadlines, planned everything, and created visions of your future. But here you are, still stuck. The goals are just sitting there, untouched, collecting dust. Why is that? The first reason is simple. You're waiting for the perfect moment. You've told yourself that when everything aligns, then you'll start. When the stars are right, when you're less busy, when you have more money, more motivation, more time. But guess what? That moment never comes. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoics, said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." What does that mean for us? The perfect moment doesn't exist except in our minds. You only have now. Waiting for circumstances to be ideal is another form of avoidance, an excuse disguised as patience. The Stoics remind us that life is fleeting. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed, and every second you wait is a second you can never get back. If you're delaying action on your goals, ask yourself, what am I waiting for? You may never have the perfect resources or feel perfectly ready, but you don't need to be. The only thing you need is the will to start. Begin where you are, with what you have, and improve as you go. Now, here's something we don't talk about enough. Fear. Not just fear of failure, but also the fear of success. The Stoics tell us that fear is nothing but an illusion, a product of the mind. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." In other words, it's not the outcome itself that troubles us, but our interpretation of that outcome. When you think about your goals, maybe you fear that you'll fail miserably. But failure, according to Stoicism, is a part of growth. It's not something to avoid. It's something to embrace. The Stoics saw failure as feedback, an opportunity to learn and course correct. If you fear failure, you're fearing the very thing that could propel you toward success. On the other hand, you might fear success. Sounds strange, right? But achieving your goals can mean more responsibility, higher expectations, and less comfort. It disrupts the status quo. You might wonder, what if I can't handle success? But here's where the Stoic mindset can liberate you. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor." Success is not something external. It's internal. It's about mastering yourself and your mind, not about accumulating accolades or material gains. Let go of your fears, whether it's about failing or succeeding. Both are irrelevant if you focus on living virtuously and aligning with your true purpose. The third reason you haven't worked on your goals is your attachment to comfort. You've built a nice little cocoon around yourself, your daily routines, your habits, your distractions. Why leave the comfort of the known to face the uncertainty of the unknown? The Stoics, however, constantly practiced voluntary discomfort. They understood that comfort breeds stagnation. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. The philosopher Seneca used to deliberately expose himself to hardship, sleeping on the floor and eating the simplest of meals, just to remind himself that discomfort was not something to fear. Ask yourself, what comforts am I unwilling to give up? Whether it's endless hours of scrolling through social media, watching TV, or indulging in habits that waste time. These comforts are costing you something far more valuable: progress. The Stoics knew that to achieve greatness, you must be willing to sacrifice temporary pleasures. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Another reason you haven't worked on your goals is that you might not have complete clarity on what you really want. You say you have goals, but are they truly yours? Or are they goals handed down by society, your parents, or your peers? The Stoics emphasize the importance of aligning your actions with your inner nature. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." If you're pursuing goals that don't resonate with your core values, you'll find yourself lacking the drive to pursue them. Clarity comes from knowing yourself. What do you value? What kind of life do you want to live? Stop chasing goals that aren't meaningful to you. Instead, focus on what aligns with your personal philosophy, with your inner nature. Once you gain clarity, you'll find it much easier to work toward your goals, because you're no longer chasing illusions, but living in alignment with who you truly are. Here's a hard truth. You've been too focused on what's outside your control. Maybe you've blamed your environment, your circumstances, other people for why you haven't worked on your goals. But this goes against the fundamental teachings of Stoicism. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." The only thing you can control is yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your mindset. Everything else is beyond your grasp. When you spend your energy focusing on external obstacles, you drain your willpower to act. The Stoics teach us to separate what's in our control from what isn't. You can't control the economy, your upbringing, or the opinions of others. But you can control how you respond to those things. You can control how much effort you put into your work, how disciplined you are, how committed you are to your goals. Shift your focus from what's outside of you to what's inside of you, and you'll start seeing results. Finally, one of the main reasons you haven't worked on your goals is that you're letting your emotions take control. You wait until you feel like working on your goals. But the Stoics would warn against this. They believed in acting based on reason, not emotion. Seneca said, "If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person." What this means is that external circumstances, and by extension, our emotions, should not dictate our actions. You might not feel motivated today, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. What you need is discipline, not motivation. Emotions are transient. They fluctuate depending on external stimuli. But your commitment to your goals should not. When you act out of reason, when you choose to do what is right rather than what feels good in the moment, you make progress. Conclusion. So why have you worked on your goals? It could be because you're waiting for the right moment, fearing failure or success, attached to comfort, unclear about what you want, focusing on the uncontrollable, or letting emotions guide you. The Stoics would say, none of these are valid reasons to stop. Start today. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for comfort. Begin, even if it's imperfect, even if it's difficult. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. And so I leave you with this. The time is now. Work toward your goals. Because if you don't, who will?